Okay, now that we have the presentation file knocked down, let's start on some drawings. So come up to New, select Drawing, and just like every time that we do this, we have to change the paper from C size to A size, which is your 8.5 by 11 paper. That's what most printer paper is 8.5 by 11. So right click where it says Sheet 1, go down to Edit Sheet, change this to A, select OK. Now the title block's too big, so you delete the old title block. You open up your drawing resources, title blocks, go for regular ANSI A to match the kind of paper we have. It's a much better size. Okay, now you go to Base, and you know what? Let's go and start off with our presentation view, our bill of materials. So here's my presentation, but it's a little small. Let's see how small it actually is. We'll call it 1/8 scale and see what happens. Oh, that's huge. Nope, no it's not. Just kidding. We'll double that. 1/4 scale. 1/4 scale is going off the page just a little bit. So I'll put in a fraction that's not even a real fraction. 1/6, or how about 1/5 scale. So it's a little customized, but I'm trying to make it as big as possible so that anyone who's looking at it will know what the different parts are. So I'll put one of these in, and we're going to need a parts list for our bill of material. This is what people would have to have before assembling it if you made this as a kit. Yes, I wish to enable the bill of materials view. And that's a little big right now, so I can just resize a couple of these. Item and quantity don't have to be quite so big. Neither is part number. We don't have descriptions on any of these, but that's easy to do. I just double click on the letters here. Your 8-inch side, this is going to be made out of cherry. I'm going to highlight all that, do a Control C for copy, and paste on my way down here. Bottom's made out of cherry. Splines are not. Shelf sides are. Trim is not. Lid is. Tray bottom is not. Tray bottom is actually masonite. Shelf supports are cherry. Shelf dividers are cherry. The trim is walnut. And your splines are walnut. Okay. And so now the descriptions don't have to be quite as big, but we do still have to see the word description. It's the biggest one on there. You'll notice it only has one 8-inch side, one 12-inch side on here. That's because on the quantity it says you need 2 of those, or you need 8 splines, or you need 3 shelf dividers. Okay, all of that's taken care of over here for you. Make sure you're adding in your name. And this is the bill of materials. We'll wait until later before we start calling it BOM. I want you guys to get used to calling it bill of materials. Scale on this, we made a 5th scale, which is kind of weird. It's custom. And we need to know, looking at this, what this stuff is. So the item number's here. If you click balloon, then you can click on the outside of the object and continue on from there. You don't want to cross lines, and you want the arrows to be visible as much as possible. Heart box is pretty obvious when you had everything. This one might be less so. So once we're done, we'll have to go through and count and see that we have everything that we thought we did. And already I'm missing a couple things. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm missing 10. That's the tray bottom. I'll put that over here. I don't like crossing through these, but that's about the best angle I'm going to get. 11 I don't have yet. That's the shelf support. And those are hidden down in here. And 12. So there's all 12 parts. And everything has its own balloon, so we can go up to Place Views, New Sheet. And here, let's go ahead and add in our assembly views. For the assemblies, we'll have right click and say copy, right click and say paste, and paste one more. Now I'll show you what we're doing with these in just a second. This one, if I click on it, it highlights over here. I can expand that. And let's take the lid off of this. To remove the lid, I need to find where the trim is. So there's a 7-inch trim piece. Let's uncheck the visibility of it. "12-inch trim," got it, gone. And where's my other 12-inch trim piece? Last one's the lid. Okay, now we can see the inside. I'm actually going to delete this one. Make a copy of this. So my copy will now have the same things grayed out and invisible. I'm going to take the tray out of this one. Okay, so if I look, that's the one that's highlighted. Can open that up. Those are already grayed out. Those are already gone. I'm going to get rid of the tray bottom, the shelf dividers, the shelf sides, and there's the last one. Okay, so now we see with the lid removed and with the shelf removed. And again, like anything else, go to annotate this, put your name on it. Title in here. Let's call it Detail Views. And I don't remember what the scale was on any of this. This is still at the 5th scale. I don't remember telling it to do that, but that works. If any of these look a little off to you, hit escape a few times, then just move it around. Make it look nicer. Okay. Now we can start the other stuff. I guess since we were already almost at 9 minutes, let's go back to sheet 2 and to sheet 1, and we'll go base. We'll put in an assembly, but we'll make it tiny size. How about instead of 1/5, we'll make it 1/10. And 1/10 is still too big, so we'll make it 1/15. That's almost right. Make it a 1/16. It'll actually fit inside there. Okay, we'll do the same thing with sheet 1. Base, we want the assembly view, we want to tiny size it, and ISO top right. Okay, next video is going to show how to do all the dimensions for these 12 parts.